You start talking to a couple of people straight away, and they're usually not the decision maker. They're usually people that are the mouthpiece to the decision maker, and they give you all of the problems, what's going on in the company. And these people have been there in this corporate business for many, 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 many years, and they try to give you many, many years of problems. If you sell to corporates and you're in a B2B market, I just wanted to talk to you about how I have been and how I do sell to corporates, because often I get a lot of consultants coming in saying, I sell to corporates, and they struggle with it. On the one hand, they sell to corporates because they think big companies equal big paydays, but they're often met with multiple decision makers, delays in payments, purchase orders, dealing with procurement, and having to be pinballed back and forth through big with decision makers, and the sales cycle is arduous. Um, Now, I've been dealing with corporate now for a few years, and a couple of things that I have done. Because what happens, you start talking to a couple of people straight away, and they're usually not the decision maker. They're usually people that are the mouthpiece to the decision maker, and they give you all of the problems, what's going on in the company. And these people have been there in this corporate business for many, 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 many years, and they try to give you many, many years of problems in half an hour, and they expect you to decipher it. And then traditionally, what happens is you would say, hey, let me jump on another call with you. Let me get a proposal out to you. And you trying to come with a solution and a plan to decades or sometimes years of problems is almost impossible. The way I overcome this to get in and to help people say yes faster is to not pretend that I'm going to solve complex problems in very simple ways fast, because that is not going to happen. And most of the time with corporates, they have budgets, but there is a barrier to the budget, as in there is a limit between before you have to get to the decision maker or the decision makers or the board. And so I've got to a point with big clients where I just talk to them about the fact that, hey, listen, this sounds really complicated. This sounds really complicated. This is what I hear so far. And all I do is I repeat back to them everything that I've heard, right? So this is the problem. This is what you're saying is happening. This is what you're needing. This is where you're getting stuck. These are the challenges. And this is what's really slowing you down. Like, have I got it all right? And they go, yes, absolutely. So I really just want to make sure I nail the problem. I don't need to come up with the solution. And then they're like, so what do you think? And I said, well, what I think is this is a big problem. And this is going to require a lot of understanding. And all I do is I talk to them about the plan. I sell them the plan. And the way I do that is by saying, well, why don't we do this? Instead of me coming to you with a proposal about what I think I can do, and then you take it and you send it to someone else, and we go back and forth, how would it be and how would this work for you if we just started off with a strategy session where I bring you and a couple of the key decision makers together, and we unpack these problems and we look at building out a plan? And then from there, what we can do is we can take that plan. And if you want to continue working together, I can put together a scope of work, and the scope of work will address how we can implement that plan over the coming months together. And I can give you some cost estimates and what that would look like. Alternatively, I can put that plan together, and if you want to take it yourself and implement it internally or with someone else, at least you'll have the plan together. How does that sound? And they always look at you like there's been some any drop of relief, because they realize you're not trying to sell them some big thing. Now, they're not the decision maker, but what they do know that there is a barrier to budget, and that barrier to budget is often, $5,000 or $10,000. So what they say is, how much would that cost? And then I guess you've just got to marry modality with time and money. And so selling a few hours for, five or $10,000 to listen to them as you literally build out the plan, because no one's going to buy your service or buy the solution if they're not sold on the plan first, especially in corporate. So the easiest way to do that is get paid to sit down and customize a proposal by basically saying, this is the thing you want. These are the three things we need to attack in the short term. These are the urgencies. And this is the process we need to implement over the long term. That's what I'm hearing. And they go, yes, perfect. And then you take your experience and your expertise and you put that down in that order. And then you would say to them, so given that that's the plan, have I missed anything? And they'll tell you yes or no. And you add it. And the scope of work is literally just a consolidation of the conversation you've had. And then you say, so here's what we need to do from here. And then you can move into retainer-based services. Another little tip here is to say, the money you pay for the strategy session, it acts as a deposit for any ongoing engagement. So they feel like they've already paid, and we can use, say, sunk cost bias as a way to get people to move into the next step because they feel like they've already bought from you, they trust you, you've delivered. So everything feels more congruent and consistent. So if you're struggling to sell to corporate, chunk it down into small decisions. So you get paid smaller amounts more frequently rather than trying to hit this big amount more infrequently and having to deal with proposals and working for 10 hours for free, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, racking your brain. The best way to do it is to move straight into speed to solution, speed to problem solving, speed to experience, and get people on board and charge for your time as quickly as possible. And most people don't need budgetary approval for a $5,000 strategy session. It gets you in, it helps you build relationship equity, rapport, and trust. And then you now have a plan that they've collaboratively put together with you. And obviously, the next step is to implement it with you. So you've been paid to put that together, the strategy, and the rest is history. And I literally did this with a company yesterday in the States. They're probably doing about $100 million. And they just loved the fact that I didn't try to pitch them a big thing. They loved the fact that I started with with wanting to understand the problem deeper. And they actually were really happy to pay me for my time. That's $5,000 to $10,000 engagement for a few hours of my time to put together a proposal to shape up a scope of work that I can then send to them. And that's an opportunity that I gained in one call with a non-decision maker who signed off and said, let's go ahead. That's a great place to start. So, hey, that might be helpful to you. If you need, if you have any questions or this has been valuable, let me know. But if you're selling to corporates or big companies, sell the plan and then move them into implementation after. Hey, you guys take care. Bye for now. See ya.